Hey there, Breakfast Club. I'm Peach, and yeah, you haven't seen me on here in a long while. I apologize for my absence. I've been going through some pretty stressful things in the last few months, which are almost completely tied to purchasing a house. I've never gone through this process before, and it's very overwhelming and extremely frustrating, and there's honestly no end in sight as of yet. Actually, I've been quite depressed about it for several weeks. What has made this process so much worse is our landlord and his family are complete fuckheads who keep trying to take legal action against us, despite having no grounds, because they really want us to move out of this piece of shit house, which we must do in less than 3 months. And if that wasn't enough, the landlord just died a few days ago. He was old and sick. And now we have to deal with his awful fucking kids who are far worse than he was. So yeah, it's hard to think up video topics when you want to hang yourself every day. On the upside, Rob and I were able to get away for a little over a week and go on vacation to Orlando. And we just got past this past Monday, so here I am. So I figured I would try to play catch up by doing the 10 facts about me tag and discussing a bit about age gaps. So here goes. Number 10. I am a Renaissance fair nerd, even though I've only been to a few Renaissance fairs. Actually, I only ever got to go during the lost decade I spent in Oklahoma, but I always secretly fantasized about joining a traveling fair and wearing those silly costumes with the long flowing skirts and the cinched corsets that push your boobs all the way up to your chin. Yeah, that's where my heart truly lives. But I've never been able to make friends with other fair nerds, and it's just no fun to geek out by yourself. Number 9, I'm also a big Halloween nerd. Honestly, the only good thing I find about the impending cold weather seasons is anticipating Halloween. I've always been a great lover of the macabre and, once again, dressing up in costume. But since I never get to be anywhere on Halloween or live in a neighborhood that gets many trick-or-treaters, my October 31sts usually consist of me sitting at home, eating candy that turns out to be a big waste of money, and watching my favorite old Universal monster movies. Number 8. Despite my academic laziness, I was always a very good student and even skipped a grade. And before the snickering starts in the comments, here in the United States, kindergarten is an actual grade. It is compulsory. It's not optional like pre-K or Head Start. But I skipped kindergarten because my parents had me in preschool since the age of 2, so I entered the first grade at age 5 and graduated high school at age 17. Which brings me to number 7. Now that it is June, which is graduation month here in the Northeast, it has now been 18 years since I graduated high school. I've always considered my high school graduation as the official end of my childhood, even though I was still about 8 months shy of my 18th birthday. But yeah, 18 years. Feeling old now. Number 6. Although I have 3 younger siblings, I was raised as an only child. Furthermore, due to long distances, I've only met them a handful of times. I do feel cheated in that. Number 5. I've entered many contests in my life, but I've only ever won one. I don't actually remember it because I was only 4 years old. I won a contest to be on a local television show. That's it. I've never won anything else since, not even so much as an office raffle. Number 4. I can do this. Number 3. I very much regret never learning to properly sing or dance or play a musical instrument, but my overpowering self-consciousness has always stood in my way. I'm very easily embarrassed. Number 2. During high school, I had only one friend throughout the entire 4 years. Coincidentally, she turned out to be one of my boyfriend's many cousins. So long before I ever met him, I was already pretty familiar with some of his more unpleasant family members. And finally, number one. I am a full 10 years and 1 month younger than my boyfriend Rob. Which brings me to the next topic, age gaps. First off, those who hold the ridiculous idea that all couples with a wide age difference are automatically manipulative can seriously get stuffed. That's a truly idiotic statement based on prejudice, nothing more. As long as the parties involved are of legal age, the only time in which age differences might concern me is if the older person knew the younger person during their childhood. Because that is just creepy. For example, Celine Dion met her future husband when she was 12 and he was 38. He was her manager, and the fact that she grew up to marry him raises a lot of questions. Because even if they didn't begin their relationship until after she was of legal age, as they have stated, he had had almost a parental role in her life during her childhood. That's pretty disturbing. Same with Woody Allen and Soon-Yi Previn. I mean, he was, for all intents and purposes, her father, and then he ended up leaving her mother for her. That's just disgusting. Otherwise, I don't see relationships with large age differences to be a big deal. At the end of the day, it's all about compatibility. Like I said, there's a full decade between Rob and I, but is there really a difference in maturity at 35 and 45? I don't think so. So that's all from me today. Be sure to subscribe to the Breakfast Club channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all, hopefully, next week. Paul, you are up next, and we will see you tomorrow.